Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I thought I'd jump on another video today and speak about the upsides of the recovery journey. Now, I know at times the OCD recovery journey is grueling, right? You know, the constant physical symptoms, the uncertainty, the realness of it, the despair, the loss that can come with it, such as relationships, confidence, your happiness, your identity, and so on. When you're right in the grips of suffering, it's obviously very difficult to see the journey as having any positives, and it's very difficult to see the journey as anything other than bad, awful, and relentless. Trust me, I've been there. But however, as you move through the journey bit by bit, you need to, not compulsively, but you need to keep reminding yourself that this journey is molding you into an incredibly resilient, unique, and more of a rational person, right? Which will stand you in good stead for the rest of your life. I think, just in my opinion anyway, I think there's a certain uniqueness of a person with OCD and who's gone through OCD. The depth and the wisdom that you obtain, the perspectives, the gratitude, people who have been through this with OCD just carry themselves differently. And I've really noticed this when I met Sam in London a few months ago. He might be happy with me saying this, but you really can just see it in another person, and it's amazing, really. I don't know if he's just the same about me. I don't know, probably not, but it's just incredible. Like, you just have like this persona about you, and it's just very, very unique. And what we don't realize is that the recovery journey will put us in a place that is much better off than people who have never suffered with OCD. And I know that's really hard to see and hard to understand, but let me explain, right? So firstly, with OCD, right, you've got the gift of doing things such as exposures and shame attacks and releasing yourself from this mental prison that you've been trapped in for your whole life before OCD came along, right? You know, many people without OCD will never have the gift of doing an exposure and releasing themselves from this mental prison because they'll never have the reason to, right? Many people don't realise they're trapped. Many people, will go through their life being irrational, being stuck in this prison, being worried about what other people think about them, being really, really concerned about societal rejection, right? But I think the law of OCD recovery and regaining our freedom in life gives us no choice but to break down these barriers and, to reach this state of internal freedom that you never thought could be possible. OCD recovery gives us no choice but to level up and change as a person. It's sink or swim. So we actually have the opportunity of a lifetime given to us by OCD to, break down these walls, to become more liberated, to become more peaceful, to become more of a free person that is no longer constrained by the beliefs and opinions of society. So exposures are a fantastic way to reach these new heights. We're grateful to even know what an exposure is, right? And the benefits it can have. Someone in medieval times would have absolutely killed. Someone in medieval times with OCD would have killed to have an exposure and to free themselves. But, they probably took it to the grave with them, as did many people. So right now we have this opportunity to realise that and to really just go for it, Also as well, other upsides for OCD recovery, becoming more rational. You see things for what they are. You're a lot more flexible in the way that you see things, and you're able to stay on a relatively even keel because you embody the rational thinking, right? That's not to say you still don't really enjoy really happy moments and satisfaction in life, but that's not to say you don't have any moments of sadness and difficulty as well, but it's the extreme unhealthy emotions that get us into trouble. You'll find that they naturally taper down with your new mindset, and you're able to withstand more of life's inevitable hardships because you don't have those extreme irrational beliefs. You worked and chipped away at them for so long that you know that these extreme unhealthy beliefs and emotions are just unnecessary. And obviously, that makes you better equipped to withstand life's hardship, and it's a key skill for life. before I had OCD, I had like really rigid demands and things having to be a certain way. I believed that certain things shouldn't happen to me, and that life was unfair if it didn't. What's an example? For example, yeah, when I was stuck with insomnia for about a year, I insisted, like demanded that I must sleep well, that it'd be awful if I didn't. And obviously with that mindset, it got me nowhere, right? I was such a bad sleeper, I was constantly tired, I was constantly aggravated. But after adopting the more rational and flexible beliefs over time, the insomnia released, right? And I wasn't so fused to whether I slept well or not. And you translate these things into other areas in your life, like your work, your relationships, your passions, your hobbies, your pursuits. You just have that flexibility where you're not just so fused to the outcome, and you're just a lot more sort of calmer, I'd say, in a way. So yeah, with those flexible, more rational beliefs that OCD gives you, you're able to carry them into other areas of your life, and it's so much more beneficial. Also, things become a lot more trivial, like you're less because of like what OCD has done to you and what it feels like. You're less affected by the minor things. You're less affected by things that other people would be annoyed about, right? For me, this is just a great example for me. So it could be raining, and people typically meet that with doom and gloom. You might be just about to step out into the rain from the station, and people are grunting and groaning, saying, "Oh, it's raining," panicking to get their bodies up, to get their jackets up. But for someone that's known a lot of suffering and hardship, a bit of rain is nothing. You don't sprint to get under the cover when it starts raining. You keep on walking and know that it's only a bit of rain. And in my case, I actually marvel in it. It could be worse. I was walking down Fenchurch Street the other day, and it started chucking down with rain, and there was a few people fretting and running, and I didn't have a brolly, but I just kept walking, and I just actually kind of liked it. It's these things, like they just become trivial. You don't give that much weight to the little things, which is really, really good. You don't become needlessly bothered by stuff. And again, that's such a good skill to have in life. It just keeps you a lot more rational, a lot more calmer. So that's definitely another good thing. I also say as well, another upside to the recovery journey, you gradually become a better friend to yourself, right? You've developed like the unconditional self-acceptance, and you accept yourself under any circumstance, right? You love and respect yourself, and you put your needs first, whilst also having like this really deep compassion and tolerance for others, right? You know how bad you've been, right? And so you then prioritize your well-being and realize that this is the most important thing, right? And when you prioritize your health, you make healthy boundaries. You don't people please as much. There's no more agreeing with everybody when you actually don't agree with them, or saying thank you 100 times, which is just a classic people pleasing compulsion. And this sort of like radiates off you, I'd say, and in a way you become more attractive to others. Your relationships strengthen. You have a lot more compassion for yourself, and yeah, you value yourself more, because that as a human you have like this intrinsic worth and value for being alive and well. Any toxic shame you might have. I had a lot of toxic shame. I didn't think I was enough. I didn't think I had any value. I thought I was worthless. But that toxic shame just starts to dissipate, and then you just, in a way, you love and just put yourself first more. And then in a way as well, that also immunes you to the fear of rejection, which when rejection does actually happen. So yeah. Another thing, tolerance for discomfort skyrockets. You naturally want to do more hard things, and you feel more confident doing hard things and facing discomfort. And obviously, when you do the hard things, facing discomfort, that's when the growth happens. You know how to sit with discomfort. You've been through far, far worse, that you're actually more sort of inclined to experiencing discomfort, because that's where the growth happens. So, for example, for me, I'm not saying you have to do this, but I've been on like this really strict diet plan for like the last 8 weeks. I'm not saying this from a conditional self-acceptance perspective or anything like that. I wanted to do it. I accept myself regardless, but I just really wanted to push myself and go for that discomfort. So I've been on this diet plan for 8 weeks. I've been on about 1,300 calories a day. It's been brutal. I've lost sleep, brain fog, but I've handled it because I know that the discomfort there is not as bad as what I've been through. So I know that I can do hard things, and I've been able to sit with discomfort and then, move me towards the body that I want. And at the same time, you might naturally take on more risks as well. You might become more adventurous, an example is Momin. I know who all of a sudden, we were talking about this the other day, you won't mind me saying, but he's become more of a risk taker and he's turning into Nick doing all these hikes and adventures, which is great to see. Like, you know, you realise that you've got a greater capacity for risk tolerance, and you know that you can do hard things, right? For me as well, in particular, like I'm able to speak to people a lot more. I'm able to sort of take the risk. I remember I'd be absolutely shit scared to, like, you know, approach people and just have conversations. I'd keep myself to myself, but you know, right now I just take more risks. I talk to more people. I do more things. Like, you know, I've got a wider array of hobbies. So this is, you know, I do things on my own now. I go out for dinner on my own. I go to like music events like on my own as well. So yeah, that's another thing. What else? Yeah, like the sky is bluer, the grass is greener, the sun's brighter. The little things are the big things. You really help to appreciate the little things more. That gratitude as you move along the journey, the gratitude starts coming back. You have those moments where the OCD, the perspectives change, and it just starts to release bit by bit, and those moments of gratitude just start to come back. And you realise that the little things are the big things, right? So you know, the crisp autumn mornings, the time with loved ones, friends, like a hot cup of coffee, you know, you see the beauty in these things a lot more as you move on the journey and you move towards a place of robust recovery. You know, energy levels, again, as you start to move towards recovery, you know, your energy levels just start to come up. That assertiveness, that confidence in yourself, you know, you walk that little bit taller. You know what you've been through, and you know that you can handle hard stuff, and you carry that with you. You can sense it in your body language, in the way that you talk, etc. Other people can sense that in you. Like my mum and my family, they've noticed like big changes in me. Like I'm a lot more confident. I'm just a lot more happier and chilled out. And I know that people have noticed that with Sam and like, other people as well. Like, you know, it makes such a profound effect on this one person that people can actually see the effect that it's had on you, and how much you can change and how much you've changed because of the recovery journey. The recovery journey gives you no choice but to change and become like essentially a better version of you in a way. As well, the art of perseverance. You know, going through the recovery journey, you try, you fail bit by bit. You change this, you tweak that. Back to the drawing board sometimes. Good phases, the ups and downs, and you know you know that you're going to persist at this thing, and like, because you know the art of perseverance and persistence and where it gets you, you can translate this into other areas, and you know that if you can just persist and keep working hard, you can get results in other areas. You know, maybe in your work, in your relationships, in your purpose and your passion. Like, you know that, you know, you can stick at something, and you know that if you give up, then you're not going to get the results. You've learned that you can stick at something, persevere, and get the results that you want. And you know, someone who hasn't had OCD, they probably give up and wouldn't persevere with stuff because they believe that they can't do it. But as an OCD sufferer, you know that if you persevere, you can, right? And then obviously, you know, in the recovery journey, the people that you meet, right? There's a brilliant community here. Also there's loads of other people with OCD in the world, and I've met some really, really good people through OCD. You know, through the group chats, the Facebook groups, the WhatsApp groups. Obviously, I do the real talks with people like Sam and Mark and Gemma and Alex and Maha, and obviously you meet so many good people who you can relate to as well in terms of OCD. So that's such a brilliant thing. You know, without having OCD, I would never have met other people with OCD. And you know, going forward, if I ever did have another theme or another setback that happened to me, which is always liable to happen because I've got an OCD brain, I could reach out to people in this community, and you could too. So that's so great to have that. And then just finally, in terms of the actual recovery journey, the upside, like, it could be worse. I know that the recovery journey is bad. I know that it's excruciating at times. I know it's relentless, you know, pumping anxiety, the guilt, how real it feels, everything like that. But it still could be worse, you know. It still could be worse. You can still eat, you can still exercise, you can see your friends, you can travel, and at least you can actually recover. You know, people with other ailments, like, you know, I don't know, Asperger's, schizophrenia, stage 4 cancer, you know, they're not going to be able to recover. You know, somebody in medieval times, that I said earlier on in the video, they're not going to be able to recover. They're not going to be able to have what we have, you know. So it's the opportunity of a lifetime. The opportunity of a lifetime is given to you by the OCD recovery journey. And I know that is so hard to see, but you can see it in the other people. You can see it in other people in the community who've done it. You know, Rob, Nick, Momin. Like, it changes you, the perspectives they have, the wisdom they hold, the knowledge that it gives you. There's so many benefits to the OCD recovery journey. And I think when you're going through the process of recovering, it's really important to remember why you're doing this, to remember that this is going to turn you into the person that you always needed to become: a resilient, a unique, a strong person, with wisdom, who can take it forward with them for the rest of their life into other areas, and a more rational mindset, which will help you to deal with life's hardships when they do inevitably happen. So yeah, guys, if you're still in the recovery journey, don't forget, this is why you're doing it, okay? I hope this is a good reminder for you today. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.